Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Raheen Space. This is me, Raheen Fatima, and today we have Shams Arfeen today, and we're going to be talking about time management. So, hello, sir. How are you? And take it away.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to be with you. It's been a while that I was thinking to work with you on this, some of these projects that I was thinking about. Just a little bit of my background. Like I lived in Pakistan for quite some time, and these days I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota, in USA, working on a leadership project with University of Minnesota Mankato. But since I had the background of teaching and also doing some training workshops, and I think you have given me a topic on time management and the importance of time management. So I think the most important thing is हम दोनों सेशंस में उर्दू में इंग्लिश में दोनों में
Yeah.
कोशिश करेंगे लेकिन आई होप कि जिस तरह भी फ्लो चलेगा वैसे. So time management basically is that we all have very limited time and we need to achieve a whole lot. लेकिन सबसे important चीज जो है when we are talking about time management, that is we have to know our priorities. So what is that we have to manage? That's the most fundamental question. So for example, I'm just taking an example of you. You are a person who really have worked on your life and on your things, and you have prioritized your schedule, and you know what is that you need at a certain time. So that's a very wonderful example of time management, where you know what you want. That's the most important thing. And if you know what you want, do you have the desire to achieve that? Whatever that you want, do you think that? And most people, unfortunately, don't have that desire. And that's
Yeah.
why there is like procrastination. There's, the people are making excuses. And I always say excuses are lies. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yes, I
So
get it.
yeah, we sell our excuses to people. We say, "Oh well, I'll do it," but at the end of the day, we just don't do it when we don't achieve it. So the most important thing right now is to know what is that I want, and what is that I want brings us to what is my passion. What is that I need to work? People always say, I have always seen things that people say, oh, you have to work smarter, not harder. I don't agree with that. I say that you have to work hard. That's most important. That's a fundamental point, that you have to work hard. Because if you work hard on certain things and you achieve the excellence that you need to, then you can easily manage time, you know, and you won't even understand and you won't even feel how the time passes so quickly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there was a scientist, a French scientist by the name of Pareto,
Hmm.
and he made a principle called 80-20 principle. And that means that, there's the things that are very important. Out of 10 things that you select in a day, the two most important things that you need to take care of them first. And that covers your 80% of the work thing that you want to achieve in that day. So for example, if you have like two sessions in a certain day that you wanted to achieve, but then you have 10 other things and 8 other things that you need to do, and you're focusing your 80% of the time on the 20% significant things, you won't be able to achieve that 80% of that day. And a whole lot of time is being wasted on some of the trivias, right? So
Yeah.
managing time has lots of other things. Like, for example, we have said prioritize. What are my priorities? If you know your priorities, Number two, my passion. What is my passion? Number three, what is that I want to achieve and in how much time duration I need to achieve that? So that is very important thing. If we don't know what time it takes me to achieve, and that's where the goal setting comes. Most of the people say that, oh, I want to achieve my, certain goal in certain time. But when the hardship comes, they stop working on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the most fundamental thing. There is a saying that if going gets tough, the tough gets going. Am I making myself understandable?
Yes, you are, and I totally get your point because people start making. Because the thing, I think why our priorities are not set in the first place is because in this corona you might have realized कि आधे से ज़्यादा चीज़ें जो हम करते हैं वो हम लोगों के लिए करते हैं, हम अपने लिए नहीं करते।
Right,
अगर अपने के लिए हो तो अभी तो मैं आराम से जो है आराम से बैठ के टीवी देख रही हूँ, कभी भी अपने जो है ना पजामाज में बैठ के मजा कर रही हूँ, राइट?
right,
But if
right.
it's for people, I would dress properly, I'll make my hair properly, right? But I think it's one of my priorities to dress well, one of my priorities to look well, clean myself up because I think it's important. अब लोग अगर
Sure.
कहते हैं कि भाई हम लोग लूज वेट लूज करें तो वो हम किसी और के लिए कर रहे हैं, या अम्मा के लिए कर रहे होंगे, या जो है हम रिश्तेदारों के लिए कर रहे होंगे, या जो
Well
मेरी फूफो
said.
के बेटे
Well
के साथ मेरा
said.
कंपटीशन है उसके लिए कर रहे होंगे. There's always this. But I exercise, I've been studying this thing because of the fact that I want to feel healthy, not to
Sure.
look healthy that much,
Sure.
but I want to feel healthy.
Right. See, that's the fundamental point that you have talked about is that doing for others. So I always say that if you don't have an agenda in life, then other people have agenda for you. मैं इसकी ऐसे एग्जांपल देता हूँ, आप एक घर में हैं और आपकी सिस्टर भी हैं और एवरीवन इज देयर और आपकी सिस्टर सारा काम करती है, आप टीवी और व्हाटएवर ब्रॉडकास्ट करती हैं 2-3 times and then you just say, oh, I am so tired, but then you are not doing what you were supposed to be doing, the work that you are not sharing with your sister. So your sister then says to you that, why don't you come and do bed, why don't you come and wash dishes and all that. So what happens is that when we are doing something that we are not sure of, or we are not doing something, then other people have the agenda for us. So like you said, that we are making others happy rather than knowing what makes us happy. So
Yes.
that's the most important thing. So the people who are successful in this world are the ones that they have the agenda. They are the ones who know what they want in life. And when they know what they want in life, they are more focused. So what happens is where your mind goes, your focus goes. This is very important point that I want you to understand that and my audience to understand that. So for example, we are studying something and our mind wanders around and goes somewhere else and our focus is lost. So time management says that we have to keep bringing our mind to what we are doing. For example, right now you're sitting and you're listening to me, but back of your mind, you're thinking about something else. Or you may have some other program that you think that is going to, you have to work on that stuff and you're making notes of that. So I'm talking to you, and at times your focus is shifting away from what we are talking about. So what happens is that we are not paying attention. So paying attention is the most important thing with our lives. For example, if I want something, I don't let my mind stray. अगर मेरा दिमाग, अगर मेरी सोच कहीं और चली जाती है, मेरा फोकस भी कहीं और चला जाएगा, और जब मेरा फोकस किसी और जगह जाएगा तो मेरा टाइम वेस्ट होगा. सो व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज कि अपने फोकस को और अपने माइंड को अलाइन करना है आपने. That is the one way that you can save yourself from wasting time. And then you can achieve things that are most important. मैं अपनी workshops में, there are 4 things that I always say, 4 Ds. So do it. What is number 1? Raheen.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. I had something back in
Okay.
my mind.
See, where mind goes, focus goes. So,
Yeah.
what are the 4 Ds that I'm talking about here? So, number 1 is do it. So repeat after me.
I'm sorry. I still can. Can you speak it like a bit louder? I promise I'm not getting
Okay.
it.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better.
Okay. So, do it. There are 4 Ds that I'm going to talk about.
Yeah,
4 Ds. Number 1 is do it.
do it.
Okay. Number 2, if you can do it, delete it.
If you can do it, delete it.
Okay. And number 3, if you can delete it, delegate it. Give it to
If you
someone
can,
else. And if you can delegate it, then do it, because you don't have the option.
yeah,
So these are the 4 Ds that are very, very important. So we talked about Pareto principle, that is like our significant 80% that we need to achieve so that we stay focused on what is most important to us. And then we are saying that if we can delete it, if we can delegate it, then we are the ones who have to do it. So might as well do it.
yeah,
And then the number 3 most important thing is that anything that we want to achieve, we must write it down. I remember when I was long time back when I was living in California, I was in an apartment complex. I'm just sharing a story with you.
yeah.
And there used to be a Greek lady. He used to be like an old Greek lady. So we used to share, the same apartment building. So I used to see her, going, in a very difficult way, getting down the stairs and, going for grocery. So on a certain Sunday, I just saw people used to call her Mama. So I said, Mama, where are you going? So she said, I'm going to get my grocery. So I said, Mama, can I help you take you to the grocery store? And she says, okay, yeah, why not, my son, and all that. So one day Mama called me and I was just standing with her and she said, I'm telling you something that is very important, so write it down. So I said, no, it's okay, Mama. I'm smart enough. I can remember that. That's not a big deal. So she said, in her Greek, scriptamana vola verba. Anything that you say goes in the air, and anything that you write stays. So the the thing that I've learned is that if you want to make a plan, if you want to have a goal, then you must write it down. And you must give a date, because if you're not giving a date, then it is very difficult, then you don't know. And there is a saying that the road to somewhere leads nowhere. Imagine if someone asks you where you're going and you say, I don't know. What are you achieving? What are your plans? And you say, I don't know. So where are you going? Nowhere.
Nowhere.
That's right. So, time management, we have just talked about some of these most important things that I talked about, that we have very limited time and we must plan ahead of what we would like to achieve. So, there are small goals, there are medium goals, and there are big goals. So, for example, in your life, Raheen, you are achieving small daily goals and you are meeting with the most important people, people like 5 times your age, and you're getting the exposure to that, and you're learning a whole lot of stuff. So, what happens is that when we are, although we are accomplishing some big thing, we are making contacts and all that, but then the most important thing is that you are achieving some small goals daily. But then you have to also think about, okay, what are my medium term goals? Maybe in 6 months' time, I am doing a workshop, at a certain level, or maybe after 3 years, I see myself here at a certain place. So not only that, you have to make small goals, you have to make a medium sized goals, and you have to make long term goals.
Yeah.
And that is where you are spending your intelligence in achieving the time management skills.
Yes.
Do I make sense?
You do.
All
But
right,
yeah,
great.
I
Sure.
wanted to add something here. We are sometimes do not realize that we do have, a limited time in the world. In the world, as it's, we have no idea when we might actually just pass away. I might die this second. Maybe when I said that, somebody just died. No, so we have no guarantee that we're gonna live to a certain age. We can't really just take, if the average age is like 50, then I live up to 50. We never know that. Maybe I live to 150. It's all in God's hand. But
Right.
I think what we need to realize is to plan in a way that we also respect the fact that this plan might not come into action, as in I might not be there to execute it, or another scenario takes place, so there's something else that happens. So what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I think you remind me of a motivational speaker, Les Brown. Have you probably heard about him?
I
So,
think I've heard about him, but I've not really seen him speak.
yeah,
I think I've
so
heard about
he used to say that, the most important place is graveyard. The most important place is graveyard because there's so many people who had so many big plans and they are buried over there. So there is a treasure there.
it. Now I
Because
know where
these,
I heard the name. My
yeah,
dad says this.
right. So these are the people who never worked on their plans. So it does not matter what your life is, how long you are going to live, but you have to live in the present moment.
Yeah.
And that is where you're making the best out of it because your present is going to make your past and your present is going to make your future. So when you are living in the moment and when you're living fully in that moment and you are enjoying in that moment, did you say something?
No, there
Oh,
is
okay.
somebody calling, so I was calling my dad to see who is calling.
Okay. All right. Okay. So are you with me?
Yes, I am totally with you right now.
So we are achieving in the moment what is most important to us, right? We are setting our priorities. So when we are setting our priorities, we know what we want and we know what we want to achieve. And when we know what we want to achieve and we start working on that, things become easier. There are goals initially in life, you probably see that if you're pulling a weight, right? Have you ever had this chance of pulling the weight?
Yes, I
So
have.
when you pull a certain weight, first time you're pushing a car, it's kind of very hard. But when the car starts rolling, it becomes easier. And there comes a time we can even start running with that car. So that's
Exactly.
exactly what with our goals is. That initially it is very hard. It takes a lot of our time. It takes a lot of our energies. But once we know that this is something that we want and we are working on that, we start achieving that.
Yes.
And that's where the goal setting comes. So time management has to has everything to do with goal settings. For why we are managing time is because we are achieving things. And when we are achieving certain things, that means we are achieving certain goals. So time management is related to achieving goals. कुछ बात बन रही?
Yes, बात बहुत ज़्यादा बन रही है. So that's
अच्छा.
why I was like I was so focused on, like, for the first time I was really focused on hearing what you were saying. क्योंकि मेरा ये I literally have that problem with something, I'm talking to somebody, and even if I'm talking, I have something else happening in the back of my mind. And for a second, I'm like, what was I saying? Because I
Yeah,
lose track of what I'm saying sometimes. But that
right.
happens. And I really want to say something here. इसके देखिए
Sure.
हमारा ये होता है कि जिंदगी है गुजर जाएगी. जिंदगी गुजरना बहुत आसान है. जिंदगी would not give you time to think at all. Just
Yeah.
move on like a set. Ab now you are more in age than me, definitely you are. Then you realize कि भाई ये ऐसे लगता है कि it's just like a jiffy bag कि भाई मैं राहीन जितना था. And then I just grew up because time को, like, it's just the flashbacks that you get, because you don't
But
get to relive time ever. You get the flashback.
yeah, but the great thing is that you guys are like born in an age where you have advantage of technology. Although I'm making an excuse here, but what I'm saying is that you have the advantage of technology. And not many people, some of people like yourself, who really know or who knows that what they want in life, that is the most important thing. When you know what you want, that is the wonderful thing. And not many people know about that. Like, for example, Bill Gates. Look at Bill Gates. He was young. Look at, he started when he was like 14 years old, and when there was hardly the computers were the size of our houses, and they had like, a small, work we can get out of those computers, and the storage was barely 1.2 MB. That's the time that he started working on these computers when people had no idea. Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, all these people, they were very focused people, just like you are being very focused at this age. So when you are focused at this age, you know what you want. But many people, they have no idea. People at, I mean, I know 12 years old kids, they have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, where they are, and what's going on with their life and what they're achieving. Even if I bring 25-year-old, you will, when you talk to that person. And the most important thing is that with your life, since you know what you're doing, you are every day getting an exposure with people and you're learning a whole lot. So your mental age is a lot more, maybe a lot more than me. You are 12 times multiplied by 500. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that is why you are achieving things a, a whole lot than other people. Does it make sense?
It does. And I feel like a lot of people who are my age, or even the people, or people who are my age and that I know, they would be like, ये सारे काम तो हम बड़े होके करेंगे यार, बड़े होंगे. Even
Right.
you said being a 25-year-old. I've seen such 25-year-old that have no idea what I'm doing. वो यूनिवर्सिटी से बाहर निकले हैं. अम्मा अब्बा की जान है, क्योंकि वो तो अम्मा अब्बा के घर से बाहर ही नहीं निकलने देते.
Right.
तो
Right.
वो बस अम्मा अब्बा की गोदी में है अभी तक. They're
Right.
25-year-old.
Right.
25. They're like, more than twice my age.
Right.
And they
So
have no idea what they're doing. I know
see,
people that are
right.
over 18 and have not been to another city alone.
That's exactly what I'm coming to, the priorities. If you know what your passion is, that's why I always say number one thing in life is to know about your passion. Number two, how determined you are to pursue that passion. And number three, if you pursue that passion and you have that, the vitality, that the energy that you need to achieve, and the desire to get what you want and what is most important for your life, that is the time you start achieving things. And that is what is missing a whole lot in our generation. इसी वजह से कहते हैं ना कि जो millennials are the most lazy people.
They are.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
they have their own time, they have their own thinking, they have their own place, they have their own moods, and when they feel like, I don't feel like, I don't want to get up, I want to, do this at this time. Life does not give you that kind of time.
Yeah.
So you have to make something out of that time. And that is something that is most important. So
Yeah.
these are some of the things that I wanted to share with you in time management. Although I just learned this time management, I couldn't prepare this topic a whole lot, but I'm just kind of just whatever I had in mind. So I started talking about it. So I didn't know that there was like a set agenda. If you have any important question to ask me, or your audience has some question, you can shoot.
Not at all. Nobody in the audience actually had a question, because although I was like, no, feel yourself, and do anything you want to in the comment section. Please give us the feedback, ask us questions, but there were no actual questions being asked in the comment section, which is really unusual though. But you explained it very well, and I feel like let's just not make excuses and move on with it, because ये तो time है, जवानी के time में जितनी मेहनत करनी है कर लो. Because even when I grew up, I might not, and I know that I would not have the same energy that I have now being a 12-year-old. I would become lazy, like a standard millennial. I'd be like, I don't want to do something. But अगर मैंने अभी मेहनत की होगी, तो I would be like, एक तो पहले वो मैं shape में आ गई होंगी इस training में कि भाई time would not give me time, right?
Let me give you. Sorry, I'm stopping you here for a minute, but there was this Irish poet, playwright, George Bernard Shaw, and he said, "Youth is wasted on the young." So young has a lot of youth, and he or she does not know what to do with that energy. How you can channelize that energy. So when you learn to channelize your energy, that is when you are not wasting your time.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Because what I feel like is कि भाई कहते हैं कि भाई ये तो हमारे golden days हैं, ये तो है कि भाई हम दोस्तों के साथ गपशप लगाएं. But I think कि भाई for some time, put everything aside and put your head in what are your priorities. And priorities of course set करने में बहुत हार्ड होता है, क्योंकि अगर आपको बचपन से बताया जाता है कि नहीं जी आपने यूनिवर्सिटी जाना है, यूनिवर्सिटी के बाद आपकी शादी कर देंगे, और फिर उसके बाद जो आपने एक अच्छी सी नौकरी कर लेनी है, तो वो एक माइंडसेट जब आपको बचपन से बना दिया जाएगा, तो दोज वुड as an evolution, okay, these would, be your goals on your diary if you have.
So isme, I think you can contribute a lot in that, Raheen. Like you've been doing a fabulous job, and you're doing like a great job in passing this knowledge and information to all these people. So what you can do is, as a matter of fact, you can bring, just like you're doing that, teaching English kind of stuff, where you're bringing group of people, and they are just practicing English with some people, you know that kind of stuff. So what you can do is, we can bring people on a certain platform, and we can just ask them, hey, what is most important for you? And we start bringing people, start talking about and helping them discover who they really are and what is most important thing for them in life, and what is that they want to achieve. For example, right now you are like a broadcaster, right? An anchor person, but there are certain other things that you would be wanted to do in life.
Yes,
So you need to discover what are some of those that I need to do along with whatever I am doing. So I am saying that there is nothing wrong with kids to just have a playful time and enjoy with whatever they are doing, but it's very important for them to also find out what they want to achieve in life,
yes,
right?
yeah, that's really right. And now, because we've run out of time, it was a wonderful, wonderful session. It was really great, and I really look forward to, working with you. And, as I always say, may this, connection lead to a further collaboration. Because, what is
Fantastic.
networking for a collaboration? So thank you
Exactly.
so much for coming. Thank you so
It's
much
a
for
it's a
watching to the
pleasure.
audience.
It's my pleasure to be with you, and I am very grateful. And I would also like to request you that if you have recorded this session, please do send me a link of that, or. And I would also like to set some time with you in coming times whenever, and we can set some topics, particularly with the people, that young people who would like to know what they want in life and what they want to achieve. I have number of topics that I can speak about. So do let me know anytime that you need.
Yes, that's for sure. Because these days, I'm not as busy as I would usually be. But inshallah, let's plan something like this. Thank you so much for watching to the audience. And with this, I'm ending the broadcast. We'll come again with
Thank
another
you.
wonderful
Thank you for
topic.
having me.
Yes.
Sure. All right. Take care.